Mitt Romney.
Well, it's interesting about Mitt Romney.
I think we have to step it up, too.
Okay, all right. We're never going to get through all of them.
No, well, the Democrats are going to think that this was a loaded lunch.
Okay. Mitt Romney, when Mitt Romney was a consultant with Bain Capital and Bain Consulting, people thought he was great. And the reason he was great, as I understand from talking to various business people, is that he told the managers in the businesses with which he was consulting the news they didn't want to hear. He gave them tough love. He told them, you know what, you're crazy, this isn't going to work. As a candidate, it's 180 degrees. He is so intent on touching every button of every constituency group that he risks coming off as a phony, and that's the great risk.
And he's having to use more of his own money now, too.
And he can, if he wants, you're talking about the scenario of Iowa, New Hampshire, Carolina, February 5th, he can self-finance all of that. If he wins Iowa, he's off to the races, because he can buy more ad time in New Hampshire if it isn't all purchased at that point. That becomes a factor, by the way.
Yeah.
Every minute on every TV station is probably already purchased almost. And he can spend $50 and $100 million in all those big states on February 5th.
I think Tom Tancredo.
Tom Tancredo, he's the guy who's one of the guys who's really tough on immigration, congressman from...
That's his main issue, isn't it?
Immigration, immigration, immigration. Build a fence, build a border, send them back, the whole 9 yards. There's a big constituency for that in the country, and not just among Republicans, among Democrats too. This is the big unexploded IED that's out there on the campaign trail. And I predict by the time we get to the fall election of 2008, that's going to be one of the main issues, what we do about immigration.
Fred Thompson, I think we probably pretty much dealt with Fred. Joe Biden, is he running for Secretary of State or is he running for president?
Here's where Joe's coming from, I think. I think he thinks, probably rightly, that he has more of a street sense of the planet than anybody else running or likely to run. Joe is an environmental politician and learner. He learns by going and doing, by standing on a street corner as he did in Delaware when he first got elected. He stood on more street corners and more places with more important people in more countries than anybody. So he thinks he's the guy. That I honor him for that. That he, as I'm also exhibiting here today, he doesn't know when to stop talking.
No, you're doing great.
Okay, go ahead.
Hillary Clinton.
Two quick things about Hillary. My wife, Amy Nathan, who's here with me today, and I remember Renaissance Weekend, which we used to go to down in Hilton Head, many years ago when Bill Clinton had first been elected president. And our daughter was 7 or 8 years old at the time, I think. And Hillary was introduced to her, and Hillary did something I've never seen any other politician do. She kneeled down to be at eye level with our then 7 or 8 year old daughter and engaged in a conversation with her eye to eye, respecting her as a kid. Hillary's a great mom, and that isn't mentioned as much as it should be. The other thing to say about her is that she has been through every war you can possibly go through. However, I don't think she always understands the irony of how she got to where she is.
Having held only one elective office, do you think of her as a seasoned politician?
I think of her as an incredibly seasoned public figure, more than as a perfectly seasoned politician. But I think sometimes she doesn't acknowledge what makes some people angry, which is that even though she's been a pretty decent governor of New York, senator, but unexceptional, but okay, even though she got reelected, okay, mostly she is where she is at the top of the ticket because she was married to a guy. And that is
who a lot of people still want.
Yes, and a lot of people out there think that if they vote for her, it's a backdoor way to get the third term of the Bill Clinton presidency.
Will that sustain, would that notion be able to sustain all the way to Election Day?
Maybe. It's going to be fascinating because Hillary's going to, if Hillary's the nominee, she's going to have to pick the vice presidential running mate, who will essentially be the third person on the ticket.
Yeah. That's true.
Because the second person on the ticket is Bill, or maybe the co-first person. I mean, it's going to be the blue plate special all over again.
Chris Dodd.
Another guy who has a lot of worldly experience, there's some people who think that Dodd is running because Biden is running and vice versa. Because they're both...
Does anybody go to work anymore in the Senate? Yeah.
There's the same roots. I mean, and Dodd is an interesting guy who, if you know, he speaks Spanish better than Bill Richardson, and he claims, because he was in the Peace Corps. He owns an island off the coast of Ireland where he used to go all the time to sit and read books. He's a thoughtful guy. He's a good politician. He knows the world. Again, he thinks he owes it to the country, and he might as well give it a shot.
John Edwards.
John Edwards has learned a tremendous amount running nonstop for president for 7 years. When he hit Washington, he was already running for president. I first met him at another restaurant I won't name, down the street, when he first came to town in '98 or '9 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was clear that he was already running for president, and Elizabeth was already running for president. And he's learned a lot. I saw him in Iowa at the steak fry the other week, Harkin Steak Fry, and it was like, and I'd seen him years ago, and it was like watching a band that had been, a rock band that had been on the road for a long time, and you saw them a few years ago and they were kind of ragged, but then you saw them the other night and they were tight, you know.
Yeah, tight.
They were tight.
They brought it together.
Looks good, and he's got the jeans, he's got the nice black shirt, and it was something, there was something a little too perfect about it, but in terms of hitting all the notes, if I can continue my analogy, he hit them all. And whether that'll translate, I don't know. Because Hillary and Obama still have a tremendous amount of money they can spend in Iowa to overwhelm him. And all that work he's put into Iowa could be for naught if they blow him away.
I think we've talked about Barack Obama and Bill Richardson, so that leaves us just Dennis Kucinich.
Well, you saved the best for last.
I did.
All I can say about Dennis Kucinich, you know, he's also a thoughtful guy. Who says interesting, abrasive things that people don't always want to hear, which is useful. So I honor him for that. But what most people on the campaign trail wonder is, how in the heck did he marry such a gorgeous wife? You know, he's got this like tall vegan model or something, and we're saying, wow, what is going on?
Keeps the campaign trail interesting, doesn't it? Well, so we'll end with this. What's the next thing we should look for that's coming along? Is it a debate? Is it a poll? Is there something coming up that's going to be the next marker that you'll consider?
Well, I'll mention two things. I've already mentioned immigration. Keep that in mind. I think that's going to be a huge issue in the fall. Huge. That's number one. And the other thing is Iran. The big thing going on right now, under our noses, down the street, is what happens with
They're
Iran.
cooking.
And that is a huge fateful thing that Hillary Clinton, I wrote about Newsweek this week, how Hillary voted two ways on that. First she voted with Joe Lieberman to declare the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Army terrorist organization, which is what the Hawks wanted. Then when she got blasted for that, she went over and knocked on Jim Webb's door and said, do you mind if I co-sponsor that bill you have that says a president can't go to war in Iran without Congress to say so. That's the big thing coming down the road. Those are the two.
These are 5-second answers. Newt Gingrich is out of the campaign. Is he out of the picture?
Out of the campaign, never out of the picture.
Al Gore might win the big prize. Does he turn that into a draft owl?
There's a picture, a full-page ad in the New York Times today. I don't think he's going to run. I think he's happy being sort of president of the planet at this point.
Very good. Come back when your book comes out.
Okay.
We would love
April.
that. Next April. Thank you. Thank you, Howard. Thank you, everyone. I'm tangled in. I hope that you enjoyed that.